Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Ghina Malfa Lina, and today I would like to present about my final project in creating the specifications, also the test assessment. All right, so let's get started. The assessment is intended for ninth grade junior high school students, and the focus of the elements are reading and writing. There are 15 test item in total in the form of multiple choices, short answer, and also essay. Here is the link of the assessment that we will open up later. So previously, there is only one ATP because the focus of the element at first is just for reading. And this ATP is divided into a lot of questions indicator, but the focus is still on the level cognitive one, understand, and then two, apply, and then three, analyze. There are 10 questions here, and then for the additional skill, I choose writing skills, and because I don't think that the previous ATP is still suitable for this assessment or for writing skill assessment, I create one more ATP here. Students will be able to implement the language use and structure of descriptive text to create a short descriptive text related to real life context critically, correctly, and also creatively. So from this ATP, I divided into 5 questions indicator, still focusing on the first level of cognitive level, understand, and then move to apply and then create. So here, the first cognitive level is focusing the ability of the students to identify verbs, adjective, and also the topic sentence from the kayu tangan passage accurately, and then move to the apply cognitive level. There are two of questions indicator. First of all, students have to observe and also select the relevant and interesting object from the photos, and then they have to create a descriptive sentence based on the object that they have choose. Also, in this case, they have to implement the use of verbs and adjective. So the focus is to implement the verbs and the adjective. And the last is for the create. Students have to create a full text of descriptive text. However, before that, they have to make the outline. I would like to present about the reading section revisions. First of all, I revised the text because I think this text have a lot of grammatical errors, also some ineffective sentences. Therefore, first of all, I revised this. At first, it was local residents also always tried their best, and then I just removed the also, and that just like this, always tried their best. And then here, kayu tangan also has numerous interesting caveat which combine architectural design of classic, simple, and elegant touch. So first of all, it was kayu tangan also has numerous interesting caves whose design combines blah 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 blah. And I decided to make it more effective and more, what is it, shorter but better, into which combine architectural design of classic, simple, and elegant touches. And then I also changed this. For example, some caves in kayu tangan that are popular are, at first, it was some of the caves in kayu tangan that are quite popular. I changed into some caves in kayu tangan that are popular are because the 2 point, so actually from this example, it mentioned 4 caves, but I just think that the two last example can be one single sentence because it has like detail. It has like the explanations or the reasons why they are popular. So they can be as independent sentence. That's why I focuses on the example mentioned here, only two that become one sentences, which are kios merah and kopi hamur mahdut. Therefore, there are several revisions of the sentences to create an effective and correct grammar. We found it also in here. They are interesting with designs that look like grandmother's house. So at first it was a simple cave design a la grandmother's house. I just think that it's not really academic or not really clear. Therefore, I changed it into they are interesting with designs that look like grandmother's house. And then for tourists that are interested in Peranakan touch, they can find it in Kopitiam. So first, it just mentioned it that Kopitiam have like the design of Malay ornaments, the combinations of Malay ornaments, and I just think that it's not that clear. Like, why is that considered as having Malaysians ornaments? There are no specific detail about that. Therefore, I add on several informations. Like after just observing more about the Kokopitiam, it has specific Peranakan touch. It's not just Malaysian touch design, but it is Peranakan. Peranakan, which is the combinations of Malaysians, Indonesians, and also Chinese culture on the architectural designs. It has vibrant color, pattern floor tile, and also like wood, pattern wood, carved wood. That's why I put the informations over here and it becomes one sentences just to describe this. And then the last is Lafayette Coffee in here. I just changed several adjective word because I just think that the previous detail, like simple and elegant atmosphere and also delicious would just have a lot of and it's not really effective. That's why I just compile both of the attraction into one sentence. And then here it's just like grammatical errors. And then additionally, kayu tangan attracts local and foreign tourists, which makes actually, at first, it was such a long sentences. So there are a lot of sentences here from the previous work, but it's just not giving conclusions about the descriptive text. Like there's still like additional info. That's why I removed that and compile of those informations about perceive the place and more about mention it about kayu tangan become identity and symbol of Malang, I decided to compile all of those informations into more effective sentence until it just result in two sentence, like becoming a conclusion about this descriptive text. All right, so move on into the assessment test, or sorry, the test item. First of all, we will find multiple choices sections. So the first revisions I do is to remove several number or rearrange several numbers so that the audiences will focus more in logical no in logical way in chronological way. What I mean is after they read first paragraph of the passage, um, they will find the questions about the first paragraph on the first and the second questions. So if they want to answer the first questions, they know that they have to read the first paragraph, the second questions, they have to read the first paragraph again, the third question, they have to read the second paragraph, not like non chronological way, like if they read or want to answer the first questions, they have to read the second. I want the audience to read the passage and they can answer the multiple choices based on the chronological order, something like that. So they don't have to read the passage over and over, just like to minimize the time allocations too. All right, so I move number three into number two into number four, and number four to number three. But I only did like more revisions on this questions or test item number two. So at first it was the phrase well maintained to this day reversed to. And then I see that the reverse to here is kind of confused. Is kind of confusing for the taste taker. At first, I want the taste taker to find the similar meaning about well maintained to this day, but because I just write it reverse to, just sounds really confusing. Therefore, I revise the reverse to it has a similar meaning with, so students will not misunderstood with the aims of the questions. So I clarify the stem because the objective of this test item is to know the synonyms, not to know the intentions of a phrase in a sentence. Also, yeah, of course, to minimize the distractions. And then we move on into the second section is short answer. So students will answer these questions based on the descriptive text above about the kayu tangan. And then I revise questions number 7. First, it was just, where is the most suitable cafe for Malaysian people to go? And I see that these questions is not really clear because the text to find the answer is not clear. First, the text is only mentioned about Kopitiam serve or provide a Malaysian designs. And it doesn't mean that Malaysian would like to go to Kopitiam just for about the design. That's why I revise the text first. So I add on the text here. If curious want to feel or want to vibes with the Peranakan touch or the combinations of Malaysian, Indonesian, and Chinese culture, they can go to Kopitiam. So I just revised the questions into where is the most suitable cafe for tourists that want to vibe the combination of Malaysian, Indonesian, and Chinese design. That's it. And then for the essay here, I don't do any revisions because I just think that this section is fine. And then move on to the writing task. The writing task, first, first of all, I would like to show you about the AI and the prompt that I used to create a writing test items or writing assessment. I'm sorry. All right, so here I use ChatGPT. I put the previous text, so not the revision one, but the previous text here, and then I asked the GPT to rate 5 until 10 questions for 9 students in Indonesia to assess their writing skills. I I told the GPT about the output of this assessment to develop or create a descriptive text. Therefore, I need the questions to include all of 3 cognitive levels from knowledge, and then move on into the applications, and the last is creative. And then the ChatGPT giving me not really the response or the result that I want, but they give me some of ideas, and those ideas I create or I just revise it or adjust that and modify that into to a better assessment and or suitable assessment that I want and also suitable for the ITP. Okay, so just move on into the results. So the GBT give me 9 items. However, there are only several test items that I feel it's suitable for me. And then, sorry for the students. And then number one here, based on the example text, what is the purpose of the descriptive text? I choose to remove these questions because first of all, this questions has a well as already in the previous test item about reading, and then it doesn't align with the ATP of writing. And then for the second questions, identify three adjective used in the kayu tangan text that describes its appearance or atmosphere. Here, at first, this questions is not really 100% suitable with the ATP, but I decide to um, I decided to adjust this test item and add more instructions. So not only identifying an adjective, but also the verb and topic sentences. And then number three, what two kind of attraction does kayu tangan over according to the text? So I remove these questions because these questions is also unnecessary to the writing assessment. And then number four, actually, number four, number six, and number seven is talking about or giving an instruction to the students to create and write the descriptive sentences based on several topics and use the verbs and adjectives that they have learned or they found it on the text. So I found a lot of these questions in the ChatGPT, but I decided to revise these questions to align, of course, with the questions indicator and the ITP. And I decided to compile all of those three questions or test item into one test item, two actually, two test item. But still, the output is still the same. They have to create a descriptive text, sorry, descriptive sentences by using the verb and adjective that they have learned. And then number five, create a topic sentence for a descriptive paragraph about tourist place near your home. I just think that this test item is still suitable, but just about questions, I don't think it is really needed or really suitable with those time to assess students' understanding and ability in creating the descriptive text. So I add point on the stem so they will not only create one topic sentence but several topic sentence, mm, and also the conclusion to lead the students to arrange the outline. So the focus is to create an outline. They have to make topic sentences, several topic sentences, because the output on the final is to create full length of descriptive text. And here, the last response from ChatGPT is suitable and just goes as what I want or what I expected. But still, there are some revisions. So ChatGPT here give me a recommendation to give an instruction about writing a descriptive paragraph. So at first they are a paragraph and then the text. But I decide, considering its practicality, I choose to compile all of these questions or test item into one. So students have to make the full length of descriptive text, not just about the paragraph, just directly make the full length of descriptive text. All right, so now we move on into the revisions about the writing skills. Here, I highlighted on yellow color. So first of all, I put the text here. I put the first the first paragraph of the descriptive text about kaitan from the previous text here. And then for the first test item, students have to find, specifically identify the topic sentence, main verb, and adjective word from the text above, and then classify those or put that words and the topic sentence into the table here on the box here. So they just have to put that. And then next, for this second test item, they have to observe the following pictures of kios merah. So kios merah here previously mentioned it on the text of kayu tangan. Here is it. So from the text, it just mentioned it about kios merah. Here, kios merah, but doesn't give a specific detail. So I developed the idea of kios merah here to make another assessment. So the students will have like the link between the previous text and the text that they will make or create. Here, first of all, students have to mention and observe, especially observe the object that they found from the picture here. So they can mention about the homemade ice cream, one of the menu, or white windows here, and also like the bracelet or this, the text of anak gang. They can mention about anything. And they have to answer here. So they have to list the object that they found. And then they have to create a descriptive sentences use verb and adjective phrase from the item that they found about kios merah pictures. Yeah, so they have to develop the idea about the object that they found into descriptive sentences. And then after they create as descriptive sentences, they will create a bigger scope of descriptive text. But for that, they have to create the outline. So they will learn how to create an outline. Here, I put some example so that the students will see, oh, this is how it works. And then they have to create the same as the example. Sorry, exactly like the template, not the same like the words, no. So they have to make like the example using this template. So they have to create the topic sentences for the first paragraph, the second paragraph, and also the conclusions. They will put it into the second paragraph like that. They also have to make the title. And then here for the last assessment, sorry, for the last test item, they have to develop the idea of the outline into full length of descriptive text. And actually here, the descriptive text is also a short descriptive text where students only have to write 5 until 7 sentences in one paragraph. Here I give the format, and then giving the tips. So from the picture of Kiosmera that they have observed, and then the descriptive sentence that they have made, and the outline that they have made too, they can use all of those information to create full text of descriptive text. And here I give the example too and give the template. So they create or write the descriptive text based on the template. All right, so now we move on into the scoring rubric. Because at first there are only 10 questions, 10 test items about reading. Um, we compile all of the test item into one, so there are 100 in total. 100 total score. But because I add more test items and especially about productive skills, there are some revisions about the scoring rubric. First of all, here for the multiple choices, I revised that into only one score in total if the students succeed in answering the questions right. In total, there are 4 points. Then for the short answers, I reduced the score amount into only 3, but still it has a very specific score range. The 3 is when they answered correctly, 2 when they slightly correct, 1 is incomplete or something like that, and then 0 when the questions it's not answered or totally wrong or irrelevant. So in total, if the students um, succeed in answering all of the questions correct, and then they will get 9. And for the essay, I have a lot of scoring rubric here. So first of all, about the essay of reading sections. Each questions will be, oh sorry, each answer will be have a maximum score of 9, and there are 3 questions, so there will be 27 points. In the total for the reading sections, they will get 40 as the maximum score. And then after that, about the writing. So first of all, about observe the verb, adjective, and sentences. Here, if they can mention about the topic sentence, they will get 1 as the maximum score, and for the verb 2, and then for the adjective 2. Why the verb and the adjective is more? Just have a bigger amount from the topic sentence because there are a lot of verbs and adjective words from the text, and if students cannot mention it fully, or it just like mentioned a really few of them, just under 50%, they will get a lower score. So they still have a score. And then for the total, there will be 5. And then for the observing interesting object and create a descriptive sentences, there will be 15 points as the maximum score. So here we compile the scores not only when the students create descriptive sentences, but also when they observing the object, how relevant the object, how interesting and how critical they decide the objects that they choose. And then for the outline task, the maximum point is 10. So because the outline is like the core of the text, it have to like a big amount. So I considered about about the topic, about the grammar, about the words, and also the present of the text. So is it cohesive? Is it coherent? Something like that. Is it well present or not? And then the last is full text descriptive task. The maximum point is 30 because students here have to create full text of descriptive text. So there are several points that they have to consider. About the rules is that students follow the rules or not, and is it cohesive? Is it well present? Is it the grammar is correct or not? Is the word used, is it variative or not? Something like that. And also, is it provide a real life example or personal experience? Okay, so now after that, let's move on into the test. I use Google Form because Google Form is overall, from the overall, I just found this platform that can provide any type of test in a one link. Actually, I found it a lot, but those platform is either PIB or it's private or it's not available yet in Indonesia. So yeah, for the practicality, I choose Google Form. Here, students have to fill their identity, and also observe. So first of all, students will observe or see this picture so that they know that, oh, from this picture, they will find that, oh, we will talk about kayu tangan. And then for the multiple choices here, actually not just multiple choices, but for all of the reading test item, I put the text on it so that students will not just scrolling too far just to read the text again. Here, I also inform about the score, the maximum score, so that the students will know um, until what for or what kind of skills that they have to maximize in order to get the maximum scores, things like that. And then for the next, on the second sections, so the students have to open up this link, and when they open up this link, they first to copy the document like this. So they have to put their name on this section, and then student's ID number, and then also the class. Sorry. And then after they fill all of this assessment, they can directly put the answers here. They have to download this file into PDF, and then they move on into the assessment again to put their works here. So the writing assessment will have 60 point as the total score. So they cannot finish the assessment if they do not load the file here on the form. Because why I decide to put the writing assessment also in the form of Google form is it about the practicality. So the students doesn't have to like to do or open up a lot of devices or books or write a lot of things. They can use their gadget, just one gadget, to do all of the tasks. All right. So that's all from me. I hope the videos is not that long, but thank you for having a good time with me here in this video. Thank you so much. And then wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.